Today we are going to talk all about the cancellation of the Sun Princess's February 18th sailing, canceled very last minute. We are also going to talk about the Norwegian Star. I talked to you about it yesterday. Some more information that I think you should be aware of. Finally, we are also going to talk about the segment of the World Cruise being sailed on the Island Princess right now that has had to be altered because they can no longer make some of the port calls that were on that original itinerary. So originally they would have called in Israel, Jordan, and more ports in that region. And that itinerary has been completely changed. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday, it's February 14th of 2024, so a very happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And super fast, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to stick with us here at Let's Go Travel Tips. We talk about everything that is important that you need to know with cruising and traveling, as well as if you appreciate my videos, would you please give this video a thumbs up and definitely share our video on social media. So let's go ahead and start at the top with the Sun Princess. So apparently it was about 8-ish p.m. Central Standard Time when the texts first went out to passengers who were booked on that February 18th sailing on the Sun Princess. They let them know that the sailing was canceled and to please see the email that was sent to the email address associated with that booking for all of these passengers. And let me tell you, this is a really, really big deal. So I'm kind of going to go through this a little bit methodically, but stick with me and I want you to share your experience and anything else you have heard in the comments because it takes all of us here, okay? So first of all, there is not, at the time that I am recording this, I am a little bit later doing this today because honestly I was giving Princess time if they wanted to come out with a press release and try to explain themselves. None of that has shown up. I really do hope that some better communication comes out in the very near future. I think it would be very appropriate. They have canceled 2 of their inaugural sailings now. One of them, at least ours on February 8th, was 2 weeks out, but this one was just 4 days out, and that's unacceptable. So let's go ahead and start over on the Carnival Corporation website. They have a press release saying that indeed Princess has taken possession of the ship officially from Cancellations shipyard there in Italy. And the press release, they talk about how grand the Sun Princess is, and it's not her fault she's not being managed well. It's going to be a beautiful ship when finally we get to go, but then it talks about how people are going to what they're going to receive if they are booked on that cruise. And do let me tell you that I do not know the breakdown from what country you're from, what you're being offered. I have seen over on Cruise Critic, someone posted their email that they received, and they are receiving like $1,000 of onboard credit to another booking. The bookings that I am aware of and that people have shared with me the information for here, people sailing from the United States, you get a 50% future cruise credit that you can use on a cruise. You have to book it though by November 30th of 2024 and sail by December 31st of 2025. Be aware that if you are someone on one of those sailings, the way that it works, when you book a cruise, you've got the section that's your cruise fare, then you've got your port fees and taxes and any other add-ons that you've got. The way they calculate your future cruise credit in a situation like this is it is 50% of your cruise fare. It's not 50% of everything that you had paid for your cruise. It's 50% of the cruise fare. Okay, just wanted to let you know about that. So that is what is showing up over on the Carnival Corporation website. In digging around, I asked Gordon to see what else he could find as I was busy this morning, and he said he came across a technical problem. The Sun Princess does not start. This article was put out by the Italian public news agency, and they said it should have left Monfalcone with 1,000 workers on board to reach Civitavecchia, and the first cruise was already postponed. So they are talking about the fact that they had just barely boarded 1,000 technicians that were going to sail with the ship from the Monfalcone, in Monfalcone, Italy, there, the Fincantieri shipyard, over to where the February February 18th sailing was supposed to take embark from there in Rome. And so clearly they had a lot of work that had to be done on the ship. They say that there were two main problems with the ship, and they don't list both of them. And so clearly it is something technical, Princess said. They said that one of the problems that had come up is there was the discovery of traces of diesel inside one of the drinking water tanks. But this article says the problem has already been resolved by the shipyard. So that doesn't sound like that's the reason that the ship isn't sailing. Now, as you think of the whole picture here of the sailing having to be canceled, there are a few things that really stand out to me, and I am really looking forward to hearing what stands out to you. And as we talk about this, it was really interesting to me. Somebody was really sweet and sent me an email and said they were booked on the February 18th cruise, and they said, "Oh, now I understand how you feel." And so it's the thing of really everything in life is okay, but you're just really, really disappointed. No one died. Your family's okay. Everything is all right. But you're just really sad because of what a cruise is. And we will get to that. But I wanted to just say, my heart really goes out to everyone who is booked on that sailing. I understand that it is a really big deal to have a cruise booked, and I understand even more than when I get to go a little bit more often lately what a big deal it is to get to go when it's such a special trip. So first of all, first of all, Princess received the ship today from the shipyard. I remembered they used to have a really special televised event to do with that. I really vividly remember watching the one for the Enchanted Princess. Did any of you used to watch those as well? Anybody with Princess Cruise Lines would be there, as well as all of the bigwigs from the shipyard. It was a really cool event and a very special day when a ship passes from the shipyard to the cruise line. And so I didn't see anything like that though. So if any of you have found anything about that, send me the link, and I will keep looking for it and share it with you if you find it. I will say that I'm so surprised as we had been watching where the Sun Princess was. We keep looking to see where she is on Cruise Mapper. And as we got closer and closer to that February 18th sailing, I really did think, how is she going to go? How are they going to pull this off? If she is still alongside there and she's not been handed over to Princess, how is that sailing going to go? But I kind of thought, you know what, they must know something that I don't know, because otherwise they would have canceled it when they canceled ours on February 8th. And so I will say, I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised. And so let me know if you're surprised down in the comments below. I will say that I think that when the dust settles from all of this, I don't know. I think it's between, you've got the shipyard that builds a ship and you've got the cruise line that is waiting to receive the ship. And I honestly don't know how much crossover there is. I don't know how often the president of Princess and everyone in the positions that matter there, I don't know how often they get to get on that ship and walk around and look at everything, how often they meet with the management there of the shipyard and say, how are things going? Where do we stand? What's a realistic time frame? But clearly something didn't work out correctly with this to have to cancel 2 cruises and have to do so closely to the sail date. Something is not working right, and somebody needs to figure out how to manage things better. Honestly, I am really nervous about having an inaugural booked on the Star Princess. I think we're going to cancel it because I can't, I would feel really bad if we all plan to go and then we can't go. And then you don't know when the next sailing is going to go. So I'm thinking we will probably look at a later sailing, and it would still be really fun to do it in the Mediterranean. I noticed that the Star Princess is not coming to the United States until much later than the Sun Princess is coming this year. Does that make sense? So she will be in the Mediterranean a little bit longer. So I'll get back to you about that. But I really think that Princess has lost their way on a few things. And the 2 things that I am thinking maybe really contribute to this is they don't realize that they are not selling boat rides. They're not selling a boat trip. They are selling an experience. They are selling people's opportunity to make memories, to fulfill their bucket lists, to have really special family time together. And I feel like that has gotten lost in all of this. Because if they really were thinking about that, that February 8th sailing would have been canceled a few months ago, and this February 18th sailing would have been canceled at the same time. I think of Oceania, they just announced on February 3rd with their brand new ship, the Allura, that they have to cancel the inaugural on that. I believe it was set for June 8th, and so they canceled all of these sailings starting June 8th, and they are canceling everything. The new inaugural cruise on that ship is going to be on July 24th. And so with canceling all those, they gave people's money back, and they said, you know what, when we open the bookings for that July 24th sailing, they are giving them the week before everyone else to be able to book when they want to get to go on that ship. So clearly they are keeping an eye on the whole process, everything going on with the building of that ship, and I really feel like something got dropped along this. So it'll be really interesting to hear the changes that we hear, everything that's going on. And like I said, I think some communication would be really valuable, maybe to give us confidence to keep our sailing on August 4th on the Star Princess, and if not for that, to at least explain yourselves to people whose dreams you have pretty much dashed. Right now in the Mediterranean, it's not like you can decide, well, that sailing's not going to go on the Sun Princess, let me pick up another cruise. No, that's not an option there right now. There are some people that have plane tickets that can't get their money back for them, so then they have to decide, well, am I going to go ahead and go to Rome for 2 weeks? Some people you can drop into Rome and it's not the experience they were thinking of, but it'll be okay. Some people just can't do that. And so I feel like they forgot that they're not selling boat trips. The other thing that really stands out to me an awful lot is it's a really big deal not only to go on an inaugural cruise, which is what people booked with that, anticipating that, and it is also a really big deal to have have the expense of flying from the United States to go over. Yes, there are people who are sailing who live in the United Kingdom, who live in Europe, but predominantly it is people from the United States that come and go on those cruises. And so it is a really huge investment of time and money to make the choice to do that. And so not only coming out of this do we all need to remember to have really good travel insurance, but also I think it's really important for the cruise lines to think about this. This is not just a quick little cruise that is going out of Fort Lauderdale, out of Miami, out of LA, that is really easy for people to work around, and this is really something big. And as I've considered all of this, I would really like to hear from all of you what you kind of think about this, because I'm hoping that someone is reading my comments from Princess and from other cruise lines, and so it helps them understand what is going on with your thinking and what your situation is. Part of what Princess was offering to people who were already in the region there, they were offering to pay for their round trip tickets back. They were also offering, if you need to have if you booked your tickets through Princess, you can call that en route phone number, which is 1-800-545-0008. Call that number and see if you can get you're going to need to get your tickets fixed if you're booked with Princess and you're already over there. If you're not there yet, they're going to cancel. And if you think, well, I already had my time blocked out for my vacation, you can't keep your flights. I honestly believe I've talked about this when our cruise got canceled for February 8th, they contract with the airlines, and part of that is you're going to go on a cruise, so you can't just keep the flights and have your cruise canceled. So I wanted to go through a couple of comments and just put these out there so that people are aware of what a big deal it is when you cancel this. And I'm not kidding, I am really waiting to see what Princess says about this. I think that something needs to be said. And I also wonder about the 50% future cruise credit. And here's why I wonder about that. One of our Let's Go family members, who was actually booked on that February 18th sailing, said, you know what, one time we were on Carnival and we missed St. Thomas and they gave us a 50% future cruise credit. So keep that in your mind. And then I believe it was the Brilliant Lady that Virgin Voyages delayed. They told anybody that was booked on that inaugural, which they did not cancel so close to sailing, they said, you were booked on that cruise. You can have whatever cruise you want to have on Virgin Voyages. And I personally know somebody that was booked to go on that inaugural out of Florida, and they ended up using that, and they went on a cruise in Europe. And that cruise cost an awful lot more, but Virgin Voyages honored it. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward. I don't think that they're going to add anything to their compensation package, but I hope that they maybe think twice in the future. I sound pretty tough, don't I? I don't mean it tough, but I just, I can't believe it. So, and you know, I love Princess. I love to go on Princess cruises, but this kind of has blown my mind. So I wanted to let everybody know, if you think that you can't get your money back on your airplane tickets, check with the credit card that you paid for your airplane tickets with. Check, and the same with your hotel reservations. Check and see if there's any insurance with that, because a lot of credit cards have travel insurance that go if you pay for something with your tickets. Double check just everything. Go through everything. Call and ask. I would definitely call and ask and see if they'll help with anything. But do be aware that when you get your e-credit back, those e-credits expire. If you've got a plane ticket and they'll give the money back as an e-credit, usually within 6 months you need to fly. So make sure that when you do that, you make a note of when you need to book your next plane ticket by and when you need to fly by, so that that doesn't expire. I think that's a really important note. And that's another thing I think that's hard too, because a lot of times when you think of buying a plane ticket that is so expensive to be able to take you from somewhere here in the US over to Rome, it's expensive. And if you don't have another really big trip planned, those are expensive tickets to try to spend and not lose your money on. Alrighty, the last thing that I want to tell you is that there are an awful lot of rumors out there right now about more cruises being canceled. And I am hearing rumors from people that have talked to people at Princess and been told that more cruises are going to be canceled. So if you're booked on February 28th or the March 9th or any of the others, keep us up to date if you hear anything at all. All right. Now, let's talk about two other cruise line things. This has been a rough week. I want to mention really quick the Island Princess World Cruise segment that has been affected by changes to the itinerary. Our Let's Go family member, who really sent me an email right when they were making those changes, which I really appreciate her doing that, sent me another email as we have heard about the cancellation of that February 18th cancellation. And she pointed out that they booked their tickets with Princess Easy Air, and they still have not been contacted by Princess. In that press release, Princess said, in the information they sent to people booked on that cruise, it said that Princess will contact you to fix your flights. They still haven't been contacted by Princess, so I would definitely have your travel agent do something about that. Or if you, which I think is awesome, if you want to know what time your flights are going and choose what you really want, I would say definitely call Princess and take care of that yourself. I wouldn't wait around anymore. The thing that really struck me is she said that there are not very many excursions at all to book for the new rerouted segment of the World Cruise. Passengers on board are saying in Facebook that the excursions are getting sold out. She noticed that a lot of other tour companies, when you think of your Viator, your other companies, there is not a lot offered for Cape Town, South Africa. And when people apparently are on board right now, they can book excursions, but not all of the excursions seem to be available for people who are just booked but not on the ship yet. So let me know if you are booked on that segment of the World Cruise, anything else you've heard. If you go on that World Cruise, you get a 15% future cruise credit, which is not very much at all. And so I know that the cruise lines reserve the right to change itineraries, and that you paid for your cruise fare and you have to go if you want to go. But I don't know what the answer is. Tell me what the answer is in the comments, would you? I feel bad for passengers, and I understand cruise lines. I understand they've got these this sailing going. They had to change the itinerary. They need to earn their money, and so they want everybody to go. I understand you pay an awful lot of money, and now you are going on a completely different cruise than you were going on. So let me know in the comments what you think the answer is to that, because I'm not exactly sure 100% what the whole answer is. Now that's a great segue into what happened with the Norwegian Star. So if you missed my video yesterday, you should go watch it, because there's a lot of information there. But the Norwegian Star was sold as Antarctica cruise, and not an excursion one, but you would have all that scenic cruising time. Well, not until everyone was on board and they were going did they let them know that they were not going to be going to Antarctica after all. And so part of the news that goes with that, they reported on some news outlets this morning saying, oh, the reason that the Norwegian Stars itinerary had to be changed was because there were some new International Association of Antarctica tour operators that they implemented a slower speed restriction to go into place for the summer of 2023 into 2024, which down in Antarctica, that is like our winter time here in the northern hemisphere, right? So the Antarctica cruises generally go from sometime in November-ish till sometime in March-ish, depending on who you're sailing with and what they've got offering. But that is the window of time that the new restrictions went into place. So that is what Norwegian was citing as the reason for taking off Antarctica, because they had to take the ship slower, right? You know what? Those new restrictions put into place have been made. All the cruise lines were made aware of those in 2021. And you will note that all of these other cruise lines who are taking passengers down there to Antarctica, they have still gone. They haven't had a hard time with it. They took everybody where they were supposed to go as set on their itinerary. And so I think that is an out, trying to make up an excuse when really they've known about that for a couple of years now. So this has been a really hard couple of days here in my estimation. I'm not used to talking about things like this all of the time when you're really disappointed with the cruise lines for how they are managing their assets, how they're managing their ships, and how they are managing itineraries and what they do with it. That deal with Norwegian should have been changed a long time ago. And I will submit both Norwegian and Princess are going to lose customers over what they have done here. I know that some people say, I wouldn't even want to sail with one of them again, but I've got that future cruise credit now with Princess, so they'll go on that. But at the same time, they have lost some trust that they are going to have to try to win back again, both Norwegian and Princess. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do to try to win back customer loyalty and shore that up again, because that is not easily won. People pay attention to what is going on other cruise lines and everything around them, even when it's not obvious they're paying attention. So let me know what you think about everything in the comments. Thanks for joining me here today. I'll be keeping my eye for any more news about the Sun Princess. Indeed, she still is alongside there in Fincantieri shipyard up there in Italy. So I'll keep you up to date on that and everything else. And I'll see you here again tomorrow. And I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.